Eri Katha Ramar Temple is a Hindu temple dedicated to Lord Rama, located in the town of Madurantakam, Tamil Nadu, India. There are two different shrines around the sanctum, and one of them is that of Sita Devi, who is worshipped as Janakavalli. The legend of this temple is connected to the Ramayana period itself. There lived an ancient saint called Sri Vibhandagar in Madurantakam, performing penance towards Lord Vishnu. During that period, Sri Ram was expelled to the forest, where he lost Devi Sita and was going towards Lanka to get her back. Vibhandagar came to know that Sri Ram was moving towards Lanka and had to pass by this forest. He went and invited Sri Ram to his ashram here and requested him to stay for some time before proceeding. Sri Ram accepted Vibhandagar's request and stayed there for a short while. While leaving Madurantakam, Vibhandagar insisted Sri Ram that he should continue the stay for some more period. Sri Ram told the saint that he was on the mission of defeating Ravan to bring back Sita Devi and assured him of a long stay on his way back from Lanka. After killing Ravan, Sri Ram along with Sita and Lakshman was flying back to Ayodhya on the Pushpaka Vimanam. As promised to Vibhandagar, Sri Ram stopped on his way at Madurantakam and got down. Sage Vibhandagar had the privilege of having the darshan of Lord Sri Ram holding the hands of Devi Sita like a wedding posture. Ram stayed here in the saint's place for some days and left to Ayodhya. This temple is also connected to the life of Sri Ramanujar. Ramanujar was instructed the Pancha Samskara Mantram at this place, which is a rite performed to approach an Acharya with all sincerity and truthfulness. The temple became famous as Eri Katha Ramar because of an interesting incident happened during the British rule. There was a district collector of Chengalpattu by the name Colonel Lionel Blaze during the period 1795 to 1798. Madurantakam Lake, being one of the biggest ones in the district, threatened the natives during rainy seasons. The bund of the lake was weak, and most of the times the lake broke open the bund and waters gushed into the village, creating disaster to lives. Blaze, who took up charge as collector of the district, was worried about the lake during one such rainy season and had visited the village and camped there. He happened to see this beautiful temple and visited it to know more about it. The priest of the temple told him about the history and legend of the temple. While going around in the temple, he found huge pillars and stone slabs piled up in one of the corners of the temple and inquired about the purpose of those slabs. The priest explained that they were meant for the construction of the shrine for Sri Janakavalli Thayar and were kept on hold for lack of funds. Blaze told the priest that if Sri Ram protected the village from the lake during the storms of that year, he himself would build the shrine for Janakavalli Thayar at his own cost. Saying this, he went back in a hurry, even without having darshan of the deities. Colonel tried to strengthen the lake bund with his resources, but was not confident about the strength of the bund. Rain continued for days together without any signs of stopping. The water began to rise in the lake and on one day reached up to the bund level. Blaze expected a calamity to occur. But as the collector of the district, he went out to see the water level of the lake so that he can take some precautionary measures. While he was thinking worriedly, he watched two young, well-built men going around on the banks of the lake with bow and arrows on their hands. He returned back to his place as he was already wet, but was still thinking of those two strange young men. The next morning, Blaze woke up and saw that the rains stopped and the sun shining. Anxious about the status of the lake, he came out and understood that there was no flooding the previous night and the bund withstood all the waters. He was too happy and went rushing to the temple to share the news with the priests. The priests were happy and welcomed him inside the temple. During that time, the sanctum was closed as the alangaram or decoration was going on for the deities. Once the doors of the sanctum opened, Blaze was shocked to see the same two young men who were wandering with bow and arrows the previous night along the lake bund being worshipped. He couldn't control himself and explained the priest what he saw the previous night. The priests were too happy to hear him, and everyone realized that those two young men were Sri Ram and Sri Lakshman, and they were guarding the village from the threatening lake. From then onwards, people fondly started calling Sri Ram here as Eri Katha Ramar. Blaze, as promised, immediately arranged to build the shrine for Sri Janakavalli Thayar, which is present at the southwestern side of the temple. An inscription revealing the Thayar shrine being built by Colonel Blaze is still found in the temple. I hope you liked this video. I'll be making a new video on another temple next time. Thank you.